Hi kids. Today what we're going to do is we're going to build another KNEX enrichment project. This one is going to be a little bit more elaborate. It is a simple amusement park ride. And I want you to listen to my vocabulary as I'm telling you how to build it, because I will probably ask you some questions as a part of the enrichment. But basically, we're building an amusement park ride that is going to have a gear train that can be adjusted so that you can adjust the speed of the ride. Okay? So this is completely adjustable, so you can make the ride faster or slower. Okay? Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Here's the parts you're going to need. So you're going to want to make a list of this. You're going to need a total of 1, 2, 3 gray rods, 1, 2, 3, 4 red rods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue rods, 1, 2 yellow rods, 1, 2, 3 white rods, 1, 2, 3, 4 green rods. Now that means that your rods have, you have a certain number of rods. You have 1, 2, 3 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4 red, 1, 2 yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue, and 4 green. We can talk about ratios, and then you have your 3 whites. So you could say we have a ratio of 3 whites to 4 green rods. 3 white rods, that means that we have 3 white rods and we have 4 green rods. That's the ratio of parts you would need. So if you built 2 of these rides, you would need double that. So you would need the ratio of 3 to 4. So you would need 6 white rods and 4 green rods. Okay? If you were going to make this ride and you were looking at the ratio of yellow rods to red rods, you could say we have 2 yellow to 4 red. Okay? Notice how the yellow is first, because I say what's the ratio of yellow to red? Well, there's 2 yellow and 4 red. Now this could be simplified down to be just 2 reds and 1 yellow. So if you said what's the ratio of yellow to red rods, you would say 1 to 2. And then if we made the whole ride, it would have to be boosted up to 2 yellow rods and 4 red rods. They stay equivalent, okay? Anyways, so now let's talk about connectors. You're going to need 2 blue connectors, 2 purple connectors, 2 white connectors, and 3 yellow connectors. You're going to need 4 green connectors, 4 red connectors, 2 light gray connectors, and 1, 2, 3, 4 dark gray connectors. Okay? And so again, we'll do this and we'll say, okay, we want 2 blue connectors, 2 purple, 2 white connectors, 3 yellow, 4 green, 4 red, 2 light gray, and 4 of the dark gray. Okay? And again, we could use ratios to describe how we're building this. Well, if you're going to use blue connectors, you're going to have a 1-to-1 ratio. All right? 1-to-1 ratio. That means for every 1 blue connector, you have 1 purple. Now remember, right? So we also see that we have a 1-to-1 ratio with white connectors to purple connectors. Yellow connectors, if we said what's the ratio of white connectors to yellow connectors, white to yellow, 2 to 3, okay? And there's no simpling down of that one. All right, now for your special parts. You're going to need 2 hinges. You're going to need 3 of these tan locks, 1 blue spacer, 1 gray, small gray connector, the yellow medium crown gear, and the medium red gear. Okay? So anyways, pause the video, get your parts out, and get them ready. And I will move mine here. Alright, I guess you're ready to go. And so let's begin the first step here. You want to take the blue-purple connectors, take a blue-purple, take a blue connector and a purple connector, click them together. Take another blue connector and purple connector and put them together. Now, this is really, really important. you want the arc of the purple to be parallel with each other. Then you're going to take a red rod and snap it in like that, and another red rod and snap it in like that. So this is what it looks like. Okay? Now you could say, what's the ratio for this part of the amusement park ride in terms of how many, to make this part, how many rods would I need and how many connectors would I need? Well, you would need a 1:4 ratio of parts, okay? Because you have 1 red and 4 connectors. All right. So anyways, next thing that we want to do, and this is where it kind of gets tricky, we're going to unsnap one of those, and we're going to slide this on there, like so, okay? So you have that, and this can slide up and down on it, okay? And we might need to stop and unbuild things and put things back on, because sometimes you do that when you're building something for the first time. So everything's good here. Now you're going to take a gray rod, and you're going to snap it into this side of the purple connector. That's going to let you snap it into the side of the yellow connector, and then snap it in the back there. So this is what you're looking at, not in the bottom one, just above the blue, okay? And then you can kind of push this down so that it's tight to the edge of the end of the rod. Take another, and what you're going to do is snap it in like this, snap it into the yellow, and then snap it into the purple, okay? This will slide up and down. The red will keep the blue connectors from sliding closer to each other. So that slides, and the blue and purple connectors stay in place. All right, next thing we want to do is take a yellow rod, snap it in right there like that. Then you want to take your two green rods, and we're going to snap them in so that they form a right angle to the gray, okay? But they're going to snap into the bottom of the purple-blue connector combination. All right, and then you have that. So this is what you do next, okay? Now, you want to take some red not red connectors. You want to take some yellow connectors, and we're going to snap those into our green rods. And they are going to point upwards. So this is what you have so far, okay? You can see how that gray needs adjusted. You constantly are adjusting and tweaking amusement park rides, okay? So we're good. Now, next thing we want to do is take a blue and snap it on the back, okay? So it looks like this, okay? And it is connected into the blue connector. So the blue rod into the blue connector. And then we want to take a green connector, snap it onto the blue so it's facing up, okay? Then we want to take and we want to get a white rod and snap it so that it is straight up and down. Then another white rod, so it's straight up and down like this, and another one, okay? So now we have pretty much the base, and we're going to start building the structure, the main structure now, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take another green connector, and you're going to put it on the top so it faces the other direction, faces back in towards the machine. Then it's the same distance, and so you want it to be the same distance, so you're going to put another blue one on there, and these will be parallel. Okay, so you have parallel gray rods, and then this blue rod, if it went all the way down, it would run down the center parallel with the gray. Okay? So, anyways, now we are going to take and put a red connector here, and a red connector on this side. Okay? Now, you've already built a project and you know you have to stabilize things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this white connector, and it has to go right in here. Okay? Now, when you do that, you're then going to have to hold it in place so these don't flop, and you're going to put a green rod here and a green rod on this side. and then you simply put those together like so. Okay? So now we have our base and we're getting ready for our upright axle. This is going to go down through here, okay? But it is not going to click in, okay? You don't want to click it in to the purple connector down there. It's going to rest and it's going to just ride on top of it, okay? Then in order to hold that in place, what we're going to do is we're going to take a dark gray connector and we're going to snap it on like that, okay? And that will keep this from falling off, okay? It'll get in the way of your gears and you'll have to learn to adjust your gears to keep the rotation going, but that's okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is take our little blue spacer and it's going to slide right down on top like that. Then we take our red medium gear with the flange up, slide it down like that. We have to lock this to the axle, so it is a fixed axle with the red gear, and slide that down like that, okay? Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to take our yellow rod and we want to put a tan lock on there. Then you're going to take your yellow crown gear with the flange up, slide it right down like that. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. These little gears right here flange down like that. And these are friction gears. Sometimes they hold, sometimes they slip, okay? Now, this is ready to go, and that's your drive axle, your drive gear, okay? Now, the only thing we have to do now is build the upper part. So we start, and we don't want that, we want this to be fixed to the axle. So we need a tan lock like that, and then we put our white connector on like this, okay? And then we take and we slide it all the way to the top and lock it in place so it doesn't wiggle. And the next thing that we want to do, okay, we want to take our 1, 2, 3, 4 red rods. Now, I think I may have made a mistake. I don't know if I told, I hope I told you we needed 5 red rods. If not, grab another rod out of your bag, okay? Things are gonna happen. All right, now, we have that ready to go, and so what you're gonna do now is we need to put the swings on here. Put a hinge like that, and then put a hinge opposite of it. It's important that you keep that balanced so that you have the same weight on opposite sides of each other. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to slide light gray on there like so, snap it in place like that. Opposite side, slide a gray on, and snap it in place. Okay? Now you're ready to put the swings on. So we need to hang some blue rods here, okay? And then you put a red rod, a red connector on a blue on this light gray coming down. Put another red one here. Notice how this one is going to point that way. Whoops. This red connector points that way, and the back one points the opposite direction. Now you put your swings on. They're going to use green ones, okay? Going to use green ones there. And then opposite, so that you keep the symmetry of form, you're going to put another one, okay? There you go. All right, so anyways, this is how you operate it. You slide this into there. You might have to raise or lower the gear in order to get it to connect, okay? You might have to slide stuff out of the way, but then you can turn things and you can figure out how many revolutions per minute it will make. A revolution per minute is how many times a swing will go around in 1 minute. You can also decide if a gear ratio of small to large makes it go slower or faster. This is a 1-to-1 ratio if you have yellow to red. So yellow to red would be a 1-to-1 ratio because they're the same size. All right, that's it, kids. Good luck.